Benefits. All right. Good deal. All right. Shalom and welcome. Today we're going to go over the benefits of jackfruit. This is something that I found to be very interesting as well, very good for the body and very good to help our health. As again, all these on Friday nights, what we try to do is help everyone and help with the benefits of what everything is doing, what's going on, and what we can find that will help each and every one. So the benefits of jackfruit. Boost immune system. Most of these, almost all these things we go over in one way or another, it helps to boost the immune system, whether it's getting antitoxins out or helping your body with rejuvenating itself or whatever it may be. But this is another one that, again, it helps boost the immune system. So if we took a lot of these together, or a bunch of these together, or a couple of these together, our body and our immune system should be able to handle about anything that we run into. Now, understand, the more that we run into, the better our immune systems are until it comes to a point where it hurts it, right? So as long as we are out there doing what we're supposed to be doing, your immune system will continue to flourish and do right. It's when you suppress it and do things to hurt it, that's when it really has a harm or risk. And a lot of the things that we put into our bodies actually promote these things. So this is another big thing to not do with these. So we'll go on. Jackfruit improves energy levels. A lot of times we get so much going on, we're doing so much, we're running here, we're running there, our energy just seems to drop off. If we get up real early and we're doing things all day, that our energy just drops off. It's just so much time consuming things, mental stress, all these things just seem to get to us and go against us. So to help those energy levels, especially throughout the day and the longer parts of the day, right? The longer we go, the more it seems our body starts dragging down, the more it seems like, oh, wow, this is, you can start feeling it. And by nighttime, usually if you're doing a whole lot of things, then you're ready for some sleep, which that's what we're made for, though. So going on, beneficial for the cardiovascular system. It's good for your heart, your lungs, to help improve these things, to make your body do what it's naturally supposed to do. But this is another way to help it boost that, even metabolism, they say. So all these things increase our body and what it's supposed to do. It increases the red blood count and prevents anemia. For a lot of different things going on, or a lot of different people with taking the chemo, people that has leukemia, these blood diseases, the red blood count and anemia, and not eating right. So a lot of these things become a problem. So we have to know what to increase, what to take. And a lot of us don't. A lot of times we go even to a doctor and the doctor says, hey, take this pill. But sadly, that pill is not to get you off of it. It's usually something to continue for forever. Even with like the oxygen and the things like that. Now, if you really need it, of course, but if you are not in need of it that bad, there are some people taking it and they really don't need it. They have treatments, they have things, and it actually, in fact, if they're not careful, makes it worse. So going on, improves digestion. As we get older, as people get older, they start having problems with digestive. They start having problem with their colon. They start having problem with their eyes. They start having all these things. But a lot of this, what I would submit, and not being hateful, it's a reap what you sow program. Whether we like it or not, it's all Bible based, it's all scriptural based. And if we don't take those instructions truly, then we have to pay for what it says. So a lot of times what we're finding out too late, or when we get older, there's accidents, there's things that happen. That's understandable. But I'm saying for the most part, for the whole of people, they eat the wrong stuff. They don't have what's on the menu from the scriptures, and all these things cause digestive, colon, eyes, asthma, lungs, so on and so forth, right? Just imagine if someone who's 16 or somebody that's 5 or 20 or even 25 would do these things and keep on with it, of how their body, there's some of these people that are living 120, 105, 107. And to look at some of these people, even in their 90s, they're walking, they're talking, they're doing things, they're doing something right. So we can learn a lot from them as well. And a lot of people, what they want to know is, how'd you do it? What are you eating? So these things here is what we can see can actually improve and prevent and hopefully help our bodies in whatever they need to be helped with. So again, number 4, increases red blood cell count and prevents anemia. And some of these things, they're proven. A lot of people say, well, this stuff doesn't work, or, how can I know it works, or so on and so forth. But when you know somebody whose blood counts are low enough to get blood, and somebody's blood counts keep dropping out, and they take these things and then they get better, it's all in the blood work, it's all in the test, it's all in proof. It's not like we're just throwing things out there and saying, okay, well, this might work. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of look at these things as, well, this may work, but my pill's better than this, and my this is better than that. So we have to use everything that's set before us. And the great thing about these is there's no long-term kidney failure side effects, blind in one eye because of, some people have horrific stories that have taken other kinds of medicines. Improves digestion, prevents colon cancer. Now, a lot of times we hear a lot of these claims, and then we hear people on the other side saying, yeah, but if that was true, then nobody would have it. But we don't see a line of people, or don't see people ordering this, or we don't even see people saying, hey, I've ate this for 20 years, but yet I've still got this, right? We will see that with bacon, cholesterol, all the other stuff. They've ate that and they kind of admit, okay, well, I kind of seen it coming, right? If they know that all the cholesterol and all the things are in it, they can't really say, well, I did the right thing and I don't deserve this. A lot of people know they lived the lifestyle and therefore they're reaping it. So this is another thing to, again, prevent it, protect it, protects the eyes. The eyes are one of the most valuable things that we have as well, right? The eyes is something that we cannot get back. It's something that once our vision goes bad, once our vision start going away, then we're going to have a problem. So with our eyes, this is another very important thing. People worry about the heart and the lungs, and that's respectable. That should be worried about. But our eyes are very, very important too. And there's something that sometimes is neglected in these things. Go on. Reduces asthma symptoms. For a lot of people, they have these breathers and they have different things. And this is no way recommended that you stop what you're taking or what you're doing. This is something to add to, or to put in, or to check it out and see if it works for you, right? So this is not something that you're just drop everything you're doing and think this is a miracle cure. It may be for someone, and that someone may not be you, but it may be good for, all these different ones, but you have to try them out and see. Has anti-aging properties. So some of these creams and some of these things, if you look at even the lotions, has some of this in them. And we know some of these things help our skin. They help to, have our skin where it's not as dry, where it's not as brittle, where it's not cracking, especially like in the wintertime and things like that, that we're not having all these problems. Promotes bone health. Now that's a very big one too, because if you have a bone problem and you're having bone problems, and especially like the one for the back, there's there's so many different things that you can have. Your back, your neck, scoliosis. I mean, there's so many and a lot of people say it's from either generational or just what you've done to your body. And of course, if you treated your body pretty bad, then of course. But your bones, just like the rest of your body, can heal and can come back. And we know this because we see people that's 80 years old that break their leg or breaks their arm, and yet their bodies is still healing and it still comes back. So we have all these benefits of these, and all we have to do is try them out, right? If we try them out and use them in a beneficial way. But with all things, we have to understand what this will do. And the biggest thing, again, I would suggest is prayer. These are not against the biblical terms. It's not against, praying and fasting, which we know is where the miracles come from. It's where all this comes into play. But this, again, is nothing to go against that. It's just something to say, something we can take, something that can help us out, something that would hopefully help our bodies with all these categories if we have these problems, right? Or to actually help our body with these, right? So if you have any one of these, then that may be beneficial to you. We'll do them one more time quickly. To boost the immune system, improve the energy level, cardiovascular system, increases red blood count. This is something tremendous for people, again, that are having this problem. If they're, leukemia, even people that's taken the treatments and things of that nature, this is a great thing to help those red blood counts come back up, because they're very hard to come back up if you're just taking what you're given. I guess I could put it that way. But a lot of these things, we're not told these, we're not showed these, and some of these people, their skin. If you ever been to a hospital, or especially a chemo or oncology or any of these radiology, if you look at their skin, usually they are pale as can be. Their blood counts are really down. They're really off, and usually the only what would I say? The only cure for that, I guess, or the only thing that they usually support is a white blood count shot. But that doesn't help the red blood count. So you'll see these are even would cause seizures. If your red blood count, now maybe doctors or scientists, somebody would say that is bogus and that's not true. But I've seen people that have this so far out of whack that they will have seizures, and they give them the white blood count, and the white blood count's like twice what it should be, the normal limit, but the red blood count is so far down, so your body don't know what to do, and it reacts violently. It don't know what to do with itself. So this is something else that you can take in moderation, at your leisure, at your discretion, and help these things out. And it helps bring that back as well. Improves digestion, prevents colon cancer, protects the eyes, reduces asthma, has anti-aging properties, and promotes bone health and increases the sperm count. Now that is something that if you go to the doctor or you go and you're trying to have children, whether you're younger or older, especially younger, then this is something that would help that as well. So we will leave it open to questions and comments, and then we will go into prayer time. Any questions?
Okay, hold.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, okay, I should have done that before. So, before I speak, but yeah, so I see. So that's the jackfruit. I've had it a few times, and it just happened that all the nutrients that we need, we'll find them in multiple fruits, right? Vitamin, some folates. I was about natural vitamin B, not folic acid, not the synthetic things. You'll find it in these foods as well. Magnesium, which is lacking in the American diet, and then the cause of that, for the lack of especially uh, magnesium, is because there's a lot of fluorides that get into the soil, whether through water. So the fluoride will bind and white and sweep away the magnesium, which is a necessity to the system for bone and teeth and everything else. And then you have your, what's the other one? Even a simple thing like aspirin will remove your zinc. So here's those things that two simple things that people consume once in a while, and they don't know that they're depleting their bodies from the zinc when they take aspirin, or if you take anything fluoridated, that they will take away their magnesium and so on. And so that's just the two items. So if you go to acetaminophen, that causes a whole slew of problem. Now we see it attached to some other stuff with what you call this autism and so on and so on. So that's just off the counter medication. So a lot of stuff, like you say the jackfruit, they have not meddled with it yet. But you know, when they go and genetically modified, and you have another imposter fruit, so it doesn't have the things. A lot of our fruits that are modified as well don't have they don't have the food that all the 14 or more vitamins and minerals that a lot of things have. So once you remove 90%, the only thing we have it and all. If you look at your, I'm going at length, but the only thing you have left on all your fruits and vegetable is a repetition of the same thing, which is iron, potassium, calcium, and you might get a vitamin A or C. And then you eat, whether you eat vegetable or fruits, you get a repetition of the same thing: iron, calcium, potassium, vitamin A or vitamin C. And then so you have an excess of all these things and all these foods, but where's the magnesium? Where's the folate? Where's the other stuff that's supposed to be there when the food is complete and wholesome in a dirt in a soil that's not compromised? So you will have all these vitamins and it will do, but they removed it to the GMO. They removed it genetically, so it's grown, but it's lacking something in our foods. That's my comment.
Right. Thank you, brother. It's so right. You know, if we just had it just like the garden, if we just had our, untampered,
Yes.
un-GMO'd, unmessed with food, it would be perfect. It would be helpful for our bodies just like
Right.
it should be, just like the creator made. But
Mhm.
a lot of times we see that they've, you know,
Yeah.
modified it and did things to it that's made it not
Yeah.
right, or made it not even what it should be.
Hmm.
There is another, since it's so hard, especially if you're sick or if you're having problems with eating or something, or even trying to get them fresh or to keep them, they seem to go. At least the ones that we have got seem to go bad really quick. So I have found also that you can get this in the powder form. I don't know if it's as great as the freshness of it, which is usually the best, but I found it also in a powder form where you can take it that way, which I found is real easy for traveling and moving around, and it doesn't go bad. You try to keep it in a cooler or something like that, which is really helpful too.
Right. Right.
Yes, brother, go ahead.
You're muted. Oh, there you
Yes, yes.
go.
Hello, brethren. Hello, hello. Thank you so much, brethren, for talking about the jackfruit. But before I say my initial comment, but I think I just wanted to say when Brother Hosapple, you mentioned that it goes bad, quickly, can we freeze it? Like if we like, can we take the fresh product? Like if we have a lot of it and we're not eating it as fast as we could, can we put it in the freezer and to preserve it? Is that an option?
Yes, you can freeze it. Um, Sometimes it's just now if you put it in like Ziploc baggies or keep as much air out of it you can, but sometimes it ain't as good as the fresh, of course. But you can freeze it, and we've even tried to juice it and even keep that in containers, and it seems to last a lot longer that way as well too.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you, brother. Yeah, so the jackfruit is a fruit that I really am thankful for. I've never had it, but I'm thankful for it because I've seen pictures of it. When I saw pictures of it, it just showed me what our Elohim is like, what our Father in heaven is like, because it's a fairly, I would say, a medium or large tree, and and the jackfruit is huge, and it grows all over the tree, from almost from the bottom all the way up. It's so when I saw that, it struck me. I said, "What a wonderful Elohim we have! Look how He provides for us." Because I'm thinking, if people had like a jack tree, just a couple of one or a couple, you would never starve. Because it just grows so plentifully, and hearing all the nutrient, the how nutritious it is from what you've presented, brother Holstapple, just made it that much more amazing for me. I When I saw the jackfruit, it speaks to me of Elohim's kindness towards us, how He provides for us. Because I understand the jackfruit, you could cook it, um, or you could let it ripen and eat it because it becomes sweet when it ripes. But you could cook it the way you would cook, I guess, a squash or a pumpkin. Felix can correct me if I'm, because I think, Felix, you might have eaten it, you too, brother. But I think it's so versatile in how you can eat it. So I thank Elohim for the jackfruit and all the wonderful things He does. And a matter of fact, when we eat those things that you are sharing, yeah, like just like you said, brother, there's no competition between prayer. I believe when we eat that way, we are actually honoring our Creator. I really believe, especially when we eat it with thanksgiving, and we eat it knowing He is the one who made it for us. And one last thing is, as you were speaking, it came to my mind that if we were not eating any of the processed GMO things, like Brother Felix was saying, or the other not so healthy um, food things, like the unhealthy cooked things or prepared things, and we were just eating these natural things, healthy things that Elohim made us, yeah, I could see us being what we are eating. You understand? So if the food is so helpful, and that's why we're eating all the time, then I could understand our bodies would be healthy and have everything that it needs. So again, I just thank Elohim for all He has done for us. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, brother. Yes, I totally agree too. That I think a lot of people don't understand that this is food. This is from Elohim. This is what our original food was. I think a lot of people don't understand that as well. That when you talk to them or they comment or they say things that they're almost like that. This is a different menu or like a different thing. I guess
Right.
without knowing. But the more I get into this, I totally agree that you can plant these in your yard and they grow, and all the abundance. You almost have to give them to people, because we have a pear tree, and I mean, there's so many pears on this. You can't eat. It's just from one tree, and all the
Wow.
abundance of this. It's just amazing. It's like, wow. We can share this with other people. We can share it, and if everybody had a different tree or different things like this. There's just so much that it's just so amazing, and it's right there. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to go
Exactly.
look for it. You go out there, and when it's ripe, you just get it, and it's amazing. So
Praise Elohim, right? Look how he has designed things for us, but the governments of this world has ruined it, and others with them, where they own everything, and where but the ideal model Elohim shows that we would all have our own and sit under our own vineyard and eat what we grow. It's that's such a blessing, but most of us don't have that, with the rules and the way our environment is these days. But nonetheless, we thank Elohim for his goodness towards us.
yeah,
Thank you, brother.
yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah, I have one more thing I was thinking about. I've thought about this many times. The more that I do try to grow these things and try to, if we had these in our parks and the places instead of having just the regular trees that they plant,
Exactly.
uh,
Exactly.
in some of these towns, they go and plant a tree or they plant a plant and it lasts until winter and then they just rip it out and it's gone. It's amazing if they would just put these, any kind of fruit bearing tree in there, then all the people that come along, a lot of the homeless people or people that anybody, would have something to eat. So it's amazing that, that they don't, or it's almost like I know we're not the first ones to come along and get this idea. It's like, wow, what if we just had this in the parks and the places and things? But like you said, it's we live in a world where in some places people can't grow things or they won't, they just don't have it. And even where we're at, we have a little bit of land, and even the climate sometimes really has a problem with that, or trying to cover things up, or a storm or something too. But yes, praise Elohim that for the knowledge of growing these things and to eat it. And I think that's so amazing to go out there and when it's ripe to just pick something off and eat it. And we're just beginning. It ain't like we got anything, but to try to keep planting and growing things. And I've also found that people say that up north you can't grow these, but I mean, our what we planted is growing pretty good. But you have to get the organic. Um, we planted 7 trees, and out of them, only one made it. So you have to know what you're buying too, because some of these they're just different trees, and some of them are even hybrids and things like that too. So you have to know what you're getting a hold of and make sure that it's got either a guarantee or where it came from as well.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Brother Osapo? I think of when you said hybrid, and especially the ones that in the peach family, where they mix them and you have an something apricot, peach, whatever things they put together,
Right.
and then you have it's like you're looking at when you go to a supermarket with such fruits, it's like you're looking at an elaborate paint chart, to choose from one green to another. You can barely see the difference, but it's there as a different hue of green or blue, whatever it is, but they look very close. So as opposed to distinct, differences. So, and then they mix those things, an apricot with peach and everything, and then they put them in the market and people go for it. They'll smell good too, but I don't buy them. I used to buy them before, but I don't buy the hybrids.
Right, right. I don't because of mixing it, mixing the seed, and that's the way I see it. I don't want to
Mm.
partake of something like that because you don't know, and I don't think, well, maybe they do know, probably more than we do, but when you do that to your body, it causes, I think, confusion. It causes problems because whatever they're making, it's just not what Elohim created. So what he created is the perfect thing, and that's what what we try to grow, what I try to get a hold of. And yes, some of that stuff, it looks it looks. I'd even say better. It looks, if you take an apple and a GMO apple, a hybrid apple, apricot thing, or whatever they call it, and if you look at them, one is a shinier, waxier to look at. It actually looks better than the organic, maybe not so red, got some hints of orange or whatever to it, but the true form, but it's better. I think I think it'd be best for us to take of what he gave us.
Amen. Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah. So, brother, oh, well, I'll ask you that later, during the prayer time.
All right. Yeah, it's time, I believe. We can go ahead and get into prayer and
Okay. All right, brethren. So, hope your week was good. Um, we have challenges, we have things we have to do. Sometimes we don't really want to do them, but it's a must. So that's one of the things that I face often on a weekly basis, at least. And we're here. So another Friday night, Sabbath eve of the Sabbath. So we will go to prayer. So we have, and what did I have this? Oh yeah, Psalm 28. Psalm 28. So that would be our psalm for before we start praying. So we will pray for government. I'm sorry, ministry, family, and then government. So any prayer request, and who will pray for what?
All right, I'll go first. Yes, prayer request. Prayer request is to pray for brother Paul in India. I he sent me. I don't know. It looked like right. Um, he sent me uh, a notice that his father passed, and he's asking for prayer and his family. If you recall, I don't. His father fell a few weeks ago. Actually, he fell a few Sabbaths ago, actually, during um well, it was Saturday night, because it was Saturday night for them by that time. Late at night, his father fell in the bathroom, and fell on his backside, and he was cut, I guess, injured, and so he passed early today. Brother Paul told me so. He was up there. He showed me a picture of his dad, and his father really looked aged.